Because these football teams are forcing us to stay mentally engaged and locked in, and the Giants, nobody more so than the 4-1 New York Football Giants, and we're joined once again by our buddy Julian Love, back from London, slapping around Aaron Rodgers in the second half, punking Aaron Rodgers, not a single point. What a fantastic win! Welcome back, Julian. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, how are you outside of the concussion protocol? I mean, what was it? I mean, it's changed significantly now. If you even have a little bit of gross motor instability, as we saw in the Jets game, they're going to pull you. What was the stint on the shelf like? You okay now?
Yeah, no, I've been feeling good. You know, that's obviously the scary thing when you think about it. That's something I always want to be doing the right thing towards. As a different to something like orthopedic, you know, on the arm, leg, whatever.
Yeah.
The heads, you got to protect that. You got to, you know, long term, you got to think about that stuff.
Yeah, you know, let me ask you about that real quick, because it's become a big issue in the league. And you know, are guys changing their mentality to self-report? Because I mean, back in my days, you know, Julian, it was just like, all right, I'm good, man. I just shake it off. Give me some smelling salts. Are guys changing their I'm serious. Are guys changing their mentality about it these days? Do you see that?
100%. I would say the majority of guys are changing, and honestly, it's not just players. It's it's ownership. It's the leaders of teams. There's always a press to win games and all that stuff. But everyone in the building was like, "Listen, don't think short term. Like, we can survive a game without you." But they thought about me, my mental for the rest of the season, for life, and so it was bigger than that. And so that's what the mindset is nowadays, which is great. I know my wife definitely appreciates that.
Oh, without a doubt.
I was just going to go there. I mean, it's one thing if it's, like a shoulder or clavicle, the elbow, and I'm not saying it's fun, but it's a different type of injury.
It'll heal.
It'll heal.
No doubt.
The wife is going to chime in. I would even think, because you're still a young guy, you're in your mid-20s, I would even think the parents chime in about stuff like that. I mean, really, like, you talk about the brain and the head. I mean, people who really love you, I would imagine they all weigh in, right?
Oh, yes, everybody weighed in.
Yeah.
Parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents. You got my abuelita, my abuelito, my grandparents weighing in.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, people who care about you the most. And so, it's important for them to know that, like, I'm thinking the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in the whole process of it all, we go through all the steps, all the phases, the clearances, whatever. I owed it to them. I owed it to myself to be completely honest with how I was feeling, with any symptoms might arise or whatever. I promised everyone that I was going to be as honest as I could be, and I was. And after that, you just put it in the hands of your trainers and know that they're making the right call for you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I trust the people in the building to do that.
You should. Speaking of your trainers, by the way, I know, I didn't know that they had this.
No.
Hey, I got to bring this up, man. So we're talking to Julian Love, a terrific defensive player for the Giants. Giants 4-1. Get the Ravens coming up this weekend. So we see this clip, and it was honestly, dude, it was among the funniest things I've ever seen. Darnay Holmes on the sideline. The trainer's obviously working on his quad or something, but in terms of what's visible and what it looks like is happening, I'm saying to myself, geez, what the hell are they doing in the actual tent if they're doing this in full public view? You guys must be clowning him. You guys must be clowning him nonstop.
Oh, yeah. Somebody, before we got on the plane, head back, I think Graham Gano showed me. And he's like, dude, what is this? And I'm like, oh, no. I knew I was going to just instantly blow up. I'm like,
my God.
I'm like, dang, Darnay, you getting freaky on the sideline? I don't know what's going on.
First of all, his ass is hanging out. First of all.
And that's part of it, too. I'm like, dude, we're all like, why did you block yourself? You see the fans right behind
something.
you. Like, usually when you, like, have to do something that, requires you, like, pull on your pants or do something like that, you get covered. But he was just trying to get it done as quick as possible, apparently.
Is he taking it like a good sport, or is he getting a little ticked off at this point?
Oh, he's laughed through it all.
Good.
That's good.
That's good. You guys, the locker room is real out of that stuff, and
everybody's
laughing, but he's laughing with it.
And he had no choice. Even if he wasn't, he'd still be clowning him.
I know.
And the reason that you can is because you guys won the game, and there was no negative feeling. BT and I mentioned this, right when you came on. The second halves of this team defensively have been, phenomenal. And against the Packers in London, a shutout on Aaron Rodgers' squad. What is Wink doing or telling? What happens at halftime with your team this year? Because you really feel the difference when you come out for that second stanza.
Yeah. I've mentioned it before, but Wink has told us since the beginning, out of anything, he owes us his composure. And so the first half, Aaron Rodgers was doing what he has done, for a long time, and he was just making great plays and putting his receivers in a good spot to make plays. And the second half, we adjusted some things. We wanted to play tighter on the receivers and take it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands and put it more so in the receivers' hands. And it was just we knew, Tiki, you were probably familiar, that feeling of, you're down, points-wise on scoreboard, but you don't really feel like you're that far off or you're not getting whooped, like you're not playing bad.
Yeah.
Just the score might appear different. And we felt that way. I mean, there was that long PI we got, the scramble that he made through Cobb on the first series that led to a touchdown. Like these random plays that were getting chunk yardage, when they were driving the field, they were only getting 3 points in that first half. And so we felt good defensively, and we made some adjustments, and we knew at that point, like, all right, we're gonna strap these guys up, and we did that.
Yeah,
it was a great effort.
And part of it, Julian, sometimes there was like 6 DBs on the field. I mean, you guys, I don't want to say went small, but you kind of went small. Did that disrupt him? Did it make it harder for him to throw tight windows? Because usually you would say, oh, Aaron Rodgers can make those throws. There was a lot of just winging a prayer throws that he was throwing out there, like he was confused. You know what I mean? And so it just felt like you guys schemed it well, and obviously you played great on the defensive side.
Yeah, when you win early down, early down, first, second down, you are able to get to your fun stuff later or earlier. And so when we get to third down packages, that's when it gets fun for us. And so that's what we were able to get to in the second half, and that's when you see, our personnel. We have, Dane Belton coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You have Tony Jefferson, experienced vet coming in. It gives different looks, and so that's when you get some fun stuff going. And we were able to get that going, which has helped.
So we're talking to Julian Love. We get him all year here on the Fan Tiki and Tierney show. Giants are 4-1. And listen, Julian, we're going to keep it real. When we were out of camp and we're like, okay, they've got to plant the seeds of culture, and this roster is going to look very differently in all probability next season. New GM, new staff, etc. We didn't know what to expect from the Giants. Like, our base hope was that you guys would play hard and with integrity and just show some progress, and that was basically the starting point. Here we are 5 games in, you got 4 wins. Now, I know that you guys, and Tiki lived this, I get it. You have to remain immersed in the moment, otherwise you could trip. But when you have 4 wins and it's not even quite yet the middle of October, can you start thinking playoffs at all?
You can't. It's way too early. Obviously, we've done a great job this first quarter of the season, but you can't think of that, until later on. We still have a long way to go. We still have some big games we have to win. The division itself right now looks pretty strong. So you have to remain in the moment. And Coach Dayball has done a great job of guiding that process for us.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So you look at some of the quarterbacks you guys have played, starting with Tannehill and obviously Baker Mayfield and Cooper Rush and Fields and most recently Rodgers. Now you got Lamar Jackson. I know Tannehill's not, doesn't quite have the wiggle that nobody does, that Lamar does. But, he can scoot a little bit. He's a good athlete. Same with Fields. At least having prepared for a couple of guys that can tuck it and run, does it make the preparation, I'm certainly going to put quotes around this word, a little easier for somebody like Lamar since you've kind of had to do it to an extent already?
Yeah, we have had some mobile quarterbacks that we went against. Now I'm looking back and realizing. But Lamar Jackson is a different beast. He obviously those guys can run, but this guy can run. And so it's going to be all hands on deck to get this man. I mean, he's arguably the best quarterback in the league in my eyes, I guess. And so it's going to be another challenge for us defensively, and I'm excited. Thankfully, we have Wink, who's familiar with what they have done in recent years, and so we're just going to trust the process in that. But yeah, this is a big week. I mean, this is a stud of quarterback. So
yeah, no, he is, and he becomes a running back, and it makes it, I don't know, acceptable to hit him? I got to ask an NFL-wide question. I'm sure you guys are talking about this. We saw it last night with Chris Jones. He's recovering a fumble and falls on the quarterback and gets called for roughing the passer. We saw Grady Jarrett sacking Tom Brady, just lightly lays him down, and he gets a roughing the passer. Has it gotten so hard to attack a quarterback that you guys are thinking about it? Like, because we as fans, and it lessens the enjoyment of the game. It's football, man. You're gonna get hurt. Guys are gonna get hurt. It is what it is. Well, how do you guys talk about this? And are you being coached about this with how to hit quarterbacks nowadays? Because there's so many roughing the passer calls in the NFL.
Yeah, it's a challenge, honestly. Our mindset is you want to make the quarterback feel you. You want to put a presence in his face at all times, really, to affect him in any sort of way. But, with these penalties, the game's getting so, particular. It's so tough, especially with that call last night and then the call on Brady.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't know how you go about it. But at the same time, you got to know how it's being called. With quarterbacks, certain quarterbacks, it's being called a certain way.
Yeah.
And there's human error involved, with the refs, so you can't put it all on them. But it's a challenge, and I'm curious to see how the league proceeds with kind of this. I don't know, because it can't continue in this way.
It's a joke.
You think the rule needs to change? Because it really is becoming a joke for people outside of the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it will. Obviously, they're trying to make the game safer.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, you don't want to take away from what the game is. And so it's a challenge. You can see it from both sides. And man, I don't know what the solution for it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much, speaking about quarterbacks, it's a good look for your quarterback when his hand is bloody, and he's basically, 78, 80% throwing the football and doing his thing on the ground. I know that you guys have respected Daniel since you all started playing with him because he's a diligent pro and he's a good guy. He's a good young man. But he's elevating a little bit this year. A few more points in the locker room with your quarterback?
Yeah, he's playing some good football right now. And so, yeah, everybody's giving him his props when you play well, just like anybody on the team. But he's doing a great job in leading that offense. And talk about being shorthanded at times. I mean, he's found the way. Whether he's tucking it and running, whether he's making smart decisions with the ball, knowing when plays at a loss and just chalking it. All those little things that make up in the grand scheme of the game, wins and losses. And so. Yeah, I mean the locker room's excited for him because we've felt that process for him. We felt the grind that he's been going through, and so all you want to see him do is succeed, and he's done a great job so far.
Yeah, and really since minute one, I mean Daboll was lighting him up on the bench in Tennessee when he threw the pick in the corner to Saquon, and he didn't back down, man. I know he's not like he doesn't show off, and he doesn't have the style maybe as some of the other quarterbacks and some of the other things, but. That is a quarterback that I wouldn't mind running onto the field with. I feel like he's always going to try to do the right thing, and we respect it. All right, man, we're going to let you roll. Before we do that, though, you wearing a Yankee hat this week, or what are you doing? You Yankee or Met guy? I need to know this. We need to get to know each other a little bit better here now. Who's your baseball team?
The last baseball game I went to was Subway Series, Yankees-Mets.
Okay.
I'm from Chicago, so
I know.
Personally, I'm a White Sox fan.
Uh-huh.
They're not in it, and so the Yankees are still in it. I'm cheering for them.
Okay.
Any New York team I'm cheering for. I've been more prone to go towards the Yankees game, so I guess I lean that side a little bit more.
There you go. It's settled. You're a Yankees fan. No, that's it. Nothing else. You're a Yankees fan.
I'm classic. I lean Rangers. I lean Knicks,
Yeah.
I went to a Red Bulls game this weekend, so, I dabble.
I got you.
Nice.
I got you. Well, listen, keep dabbling with these wins. It's been a riveting start, and the city's fired up. Thanks a lot, Julian.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Be good,
Yeah,
Julian.
man. Good stuff. A lot of things to unpack there. The concussion stuff, the quarterback stuff.